I'm Herman Muller's eldest child, one of my 5.
You don't look that old.
And he started late. I've been working in psychosomatics for about 17 years, so I have a bit of background. And been an avid watcher of people. So when people started decorating their bodies with ink and pieces of metal and stuffing stuff under the skin, I became immensely intrigued in why they would do these things in particular areas and choose particular subjects. So I started asking people when I was seeing them in therapeutic aspect why they had these particular pictures in these areas, and looked at connecting what each area means in your body. And it gave me a great insight into people in that moment of making a mark, decorating, abusing, however that aspect was created in the first place, and how they related it in their lives now. So I started to get a background of people's information on their pictorial or the insertions that they did to their bodies in particular areas. So each area of your body represents part of who you are. So when you mark it, you're bringing your attention, allowing your subconscious attention to come to the surface. Some people say, oh, I just got the tattoo. I just put it there. I didn't even know what I wanted. I just picked something out of the book and I just got it there. And they're the ones that intrigue me the most, because they may have picked a devil and put it on their shoulder, on their arm, a devil around their heart. What was happening for them in that moment in their lives. So that's why I like to know the story of someone. Can I have my example? Someone who prepared themselves before.
Putting it on my... There we go.
Okay. So, each area in your body relates to a particular... Just coming over this way. So we've got one here. Right in the back of her neck. The connection between her mind and her heart. She's got this Om, this coming together symbol. But it's on her back. So it's about her, not about what she wants to express to everyone else. So this is this coming together sound right on the connection between her mind and her heart. When you got that, what was happening in your life?
That's an interesting question. I just turned 18, and it was about, for me, coming into my truth and being able to be strong and older and independent.
And what?
Yeah.
So interesting that she got that there, and she didn't really connect what was in her body, but unconsciously part of her had already labelled that for her. But this is actually, behind is not really about everyone else. It's about you and how you connect with your past. The past exists behind and your front is where you want to go. Each tattoo makes a difference on how it's put there. Is it for yourself? Is it for your inner world? Or is it for the external world? Is it to express it away, keep people away, or... Interesting. Around her ankle, which is her neck again. That's your neck point.
Yeah.
But it's also your solar plexus and identity. So that connection with the earth, with the support, but also about identity. How she steps out and how it feels. She's got happiness there, and she's got a little... It says love.
Peace, harmony and happiness.
And happiness, but she's got happiness there, and that's a really interesting sign, because actually when I read that, it's like a question mark. The way it's written, even though it's a nice swirl at the end of the sentence, it's almost like a question mark. When I'm stepping out, is that happiness? So she's written that so she can read it. It's not written so someone else can read it. It's actually written so she can read it. So how you actually get it put on your hand is also important, or your feet. Is it for you or is it for someone else to read about you? Now, if you're going to put it there for someone else to read about you, it was fine at that moment. But when you change, you're probably better off with one of these. Because as you shed this, there's new underneath. Whereas as you shed that, it's always there. Even if you get it lasered off, it's still underneath.
But don't you want happiness to always be there?
Well, it's a question there.
So perhaps it's more about every step that I take when there's new coming into my life, I question, is this bringing joy to me or not?
Perfect. So it's in interpretation. Now I learned something very interesting about my daughter this morning. She's got a tattoo on her arm here, and she had it done when she was going through a really big challenge in her life. And she had an epiphany only about a week ago. She'd taken a psalm and put it on her arm, and it was, I asked God and he heard me. I can't remember, I think that's the words. And she said when she did that, that's exactly what she wanted to read. But when somebody asked her the other day what it meant, she said, that's what the words mean, but now I think I saved myself. It was my own voice that I heard. So, if you get some marking on your body, it's probably important that you review it. Is it relevant to who I am now? And how can I change that interpretation to who I am now? Just like you did there. Pardon?
I think it needs a friend.
Agreed.
They usually do better in 2s and 5s and 10s.
So they're the two that you've got?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So whenever you mark your body, remember how long it's going to be there and if it's actually going to travel with you. And in that travel, does it add value to your journey or does it take you backwards off your path? And if it does do that, is it relevant now to actually reassess the meaning of it? This is the action side, the doing side. So it has this almost dragon energy to get things out there, grab things and make it yours. So imagine having all that fire energy behind you. Sometimes the fire energy works for short periods of time because with a dragon it needs to replenish itself before it can send another shot of energy out. So it's good driving energy, but it doesn't last very long. Okay? Now, this tattoo is, I know this man, so I know what this is. This is representational of his past. True? His family past. So he's carrying his family behind him, within him, in his drive. You've got another one, haven't you?
No.
No, that's right.
That's it. It's the only one he's got. His
So,
side's got swords.
if you had it on this side, that would be emotional fire. Okay? Emotional dragon. And it's also facing inwards, it's not facing outwards. So the energy is internal, which can make you almost combust at times, so you have to be careful. Okay?
That's it.
This is a very interesting one. It's like there's this space being left here, isn't there? Something to be treasured in this space, to be filled. And even the tissue is really quite strong. It's over his heart, but it's more of protection, an emblem of protection rather than a decoration. It's almost bat-like. Phoenix. The phoenix rising from his heart and his emotions, but it doesn't really have a lot of phoenix energy. It's almost like it's just been placed there to keep things away. So it hasn't completely done the cleanse. Okay? It's on his emotional side, soft, sensitive, and when you touch his skin, he's all soft and sensitive as well. From the inside out.
You just like touching, Gillian.
I do. So what's his name?
That's my kids' names.
And look what he's got. His kids' names over his heart. Each one over his heart. Within his heart and in his emotional side. Now he could have got them over here. But they need to be here, don't they? On that soft, sensitive side of you.
Yep.
It's not about action with his children, it's about keeping them close. Is that all? No more? Oh, you got more?
I got that one as well.
Ah, look at this one. He didn't show you this one straight up, did he?
Kept it covered.
What does that one look like to you?
It's like a pair of fighting snakes.
It's a dragon.
It's a dragon.
It's a dragon. An angry dragon, maybe?
A little bit angry. He definitely looks a little angry.
Very stylized.
And he's got his claws curled. They're not relaxed. They're curled around. So it's like his heart is being protected by the fire and the fire. So the maker of fire and the rising out of the fire. So maybe something that you desire most is the fire and drive. Okay? So you can tell from what people put on their bodies what it means to them. What's this one here?
Becoming a Reiki Master symbol.
Reiki Master. And look at that. He's a Reiki Master and look where he put it. On his emotional, intuitive, sensitive side. He didn't put it on his action side. He put it on the side that gives him that intuition. It's also around that creative energy. So by putting it there, it's like stimulating that mastership through creation. Okay, let's have a look here. The man has got way too much, but anyway. Just wait there. Now, on the back of his head here, there's a dragon. Now, he's gone through lots of changes in his life, and whenever I've seen him with his hair on, he's much calmer, he's gentler, he's more of an action person with softness. He has these massive amounts of ringlets. Any chick would die for. Okay?
He doesn't like.
And look at this. Clean slate. Keeps it clean. The only problem is when you keep it clean, it reveals the dragon. And the dragon, for him, is on his head, not in his heart. So it's the head, throat, heart. You can take your shirt off now.
Nice.
So, head, oh, just,
Greasy head.
yeah, you just got fluff all over you, it's gone.
Spiderwebs.
Day growth.
His top.
Okay, so you can see the dragon, and it comes around like this. His claws aren't menacing, they're just sort of relaxed, but it's like it's sneaking around the back there and going, I'm ready when you are to. You can see almost that cunning look in its eye, waiting for that moment. Like a snake getting ready to rise. But it's actually quite gentle, it's just sort of sitting there waiting. It's interesting that it's got its claws around his throat though. So the claws are sitting back there around his throat. Ready to stick it in. Even the claw on the wing is coming around. and throat area. So he needs to watch out how he speaks, because he can use the dragon voice rather than the gentleness. Where's your arm?
One there.
Yeah, this one here, it's on the inside of his body. It's held close to him. It's around, I haven't read it, so I don't know what's in there. This is around family, but also about safety and security and looking after yourself. So what does it say?
It says, the air cannot be bought, the earth cannot be sold. When the last river runs, the last fish dies, and the last tree withers. Only then will man realise that he can't eat money, and his greed for technology will be his demise.
Hooray.
And isn't it interesting
Hooray.
that it's in this zone? Keeping safe, having possessions, creativity, family. It's not up here. It's all in his base and his sacrum. And that's in his masculine side, his analysing side. And all those things he just talked about are things that you go out and get. So the internal messages that you get when you put a tattoo on there is really important. Now, all of you that I've had a feel of your tattoos, they're all part of your skin. And all the areas that you've got them, there's a lot of tissue underneath it. So where you get your tattoo is really important too. Is it fleshy or is it right near the bone? The ones really close to the bone means they're close to your original foundations that you created in childhood. Like this. Okay? This is right on the bone. There's not much tissue between the actual ink and the bone that exists underneath. There's all the muscles, but very close to the bone. So the bone is created in childhood, and how you develop in childhood. So those memories are close to the bone. When you put imprint right near the bone, then that tattoo is actually accessing some of that information from childhood. So maybe when you get that tattoo, what are you accessing in that foundation, in that childhood?